Everybody. I'm Margie from the Washington County Public Library out in the Mendota branch, and I wanted to take you home for the holidays. I'm going to take you on a little tour of Mendota, and we're going to kind of step back in time a little bit and see what it was like here back in the day. So let's see. First place here. This is Mendota. This is coming in from Civil Drive into Mendota. Nothing looks the same to me. I had a hard time figuring out where this picture was taken, but I'm going to walk you through it and kind of show you around and show you all the little highlights of everything. You could see to the right of the screen, there's the part of the train depot. Of course, we had a train track coming through here, and now we have a rails to, they turned to rails to trails, and we have the Mendota Trail coming through. But that little shed was part of the train depot back in the day. And over there next to it was Mr. Shepherd's grist mill. And there's a little shed there. I marked little shed on there. Obviously, it's a shed, but I marked it on there because I want to show you something. And it'll kind of help you figure out where you are in here this day, currently. This picture was taken in 1930s, the late 1930s, and that's before the road came in. That's why things are shifted around a little bit. But anyway, you can see Linton's grocery store here, and you can also see the Barker home. These are the Barker girls. These are twins that were some of the firstborn, if not the firstborn, in Mendota. They're, let's see, they're Mary, what's her name? I'm sorry, Mary and Mildred Barker. And this picture was taken in 1928. And they're the children of Hendricks and Mamie Barker. Remember that name, Hendricks and, Hendricks Barker, because he's going to come up later on down the road too. In the back of this picture, you could see the railroad tracks coming through. So it's in the same vicinity as the picture that I showed you, the very first one. But they're so cute. So I wanted to take you back to the shed, and I want to show you where the shed is now. They moved it across the street when they put the road in, if I'm not mistaken. There it is right there. It's in the parking lot of the store. Katie Harris runs the store. Her husband is Oscar Harris. He's kind of famous. You might know him. He sings. We have a couple famous singers from Mendota. But anyway, Katie owns the store, and here's the store. You can't miss it. If you come into Mendota, it's there. And she has it all decorated up for Christmas. It's real pretty. She got a little village in there. It's a really nice little store. You should come out and see it. But okay, I want to take you back over past the shed. So the store's there, the shed is right next to it, and right here, we're just past the shed, and this is the remains of the grist mill that we saw in the first picture. And all that's left is the rubble from it, but there was a grist mill right there. It was kind of interesting. Now, it was not run by water, it was run by a generator. So I'm going to show you a different mill down the road too. But this one was a little different, so wasn't the same water thing like the thing, it just ran off of a generator. And next to the mill remnants is where there was a big water tower up there, and it got filled up by a stream, and the water tower had it fed a boom that came over and filled the train engines up because they ran off of steam, and they needed that steam to get up through the hills. But that's where they got their water from, right there at the corner of Mendota. And this is the actual train depot. I don't know when this was taken, but it's a really nice picture. It's really, really old. Here we go. This is a train coming back up to Bristol from Mendota, and the engineer is Mr. Scott Clayman. And you know what he did? He stopped in front of his house and his wife brought him lunch every day. Brought it right up to him in the tray. I think it's kind of cool. And this picture was taken in the 1940s. So show how old it is. Okay. Now, talking about trains, this is the Rails to Trails, the new Mendota Trail that they've been working on. This is the trailhead in Mendota. There's one down in Bristol, and we have a mile done on this said right now, and they're working on getting more of it. But it's real pretty. You could park right here. This is directly across the street from the store, so you just turn in there and you could park, and you can see the Mendota Baptist Church there on the left. And this is an old timey one. Now, what we have here is on the left side, that building there beside the tree was an apartment. And above it, above that apartment on the top floor was the Masonic Lodge. And on the right side, that was the old bank building. And that was built in 1917. 1917. So, and this is what remains of the Masonic Lodge in the bank. That's all there is of it. But this is kind of neat. In 2017, a few years ago, they found a time capsule in the cornerstone of the Masonic Lodge. And there was coins in it, some papers, stuff like that. It's kind of neat. Here we have some tobacco, and in front of it, this is Mr. Worley Millard in front of his Burley tobacco. And a lot of people out this way grew tobacco. Some still do. I mean, you can still see it hanging in barns around. It's a pretty sight to see. Uh, R.J. Reynolds used to have a building here where they made cigars. They couldn't get the moisture right on it, and they couldn't cure the tobacco properly, so they had to close down. But it's kind of, right here in Mendota, they had a factory, but it didn't last too long. So let's see here. Now, this next picture is what they call the mill dam. This is Hendricks Barker's grist mill. And it's called the mill dam, though. That's what people call it around here. It's located about a mile down the road going towards Hilton's. I didn't know where it was. When I was here, I moved here 14 years ago, and I've heard them talking about it, but I've never known where it was. And finally, learning all this, I found out that it was way down there, but still a mile. That's easy walking. And across the road, there's a road behind the mill in this picture. Across the road, catty corner, is a silica, where they had the silica sand mine. Up on the hill, there's a big deposit of silica sand, and they cabled it down the hill. And you could still see some of the remnants of where they had that cable structure coming to get it down the hill. I don't have a picture of that though, but you could kind of see the remnants of it a little bit. Now, we were down a mile, and now we're coming back in Mendota, and the house on the right there is it belongs to Bill Clifton and his wife Tinnica. Bill Clifton, he's a famous singer. That's the other famous singer I was talking about, other than Oscar Harris. Bill Clifton's played all over the world. You can still find his albums out. We have some here at the library too, by the way. So if you ever want to listen to them, you can come in. They're old big vinyls, so they sound pretty good. But anyway, that's his house. But before he owned it, Dr. Mead lived there. So that was Dr. Mead's house. And this right here, this handsome couple, is Dorothy Dye's mom and dad. Their names are Lily and Worley Millard. And they were posing there in their pretty yard in front of Dr. Mead's house. So, and this was taken in 1968, roughly. I like that picture. I think it's cute. And talking about Dr. Mead, he had his office in this house. Now, this house is the Smith House, but it was also the home of Dr. Ellington. They were two of the doctors that worked here in Mendota. This picture was taken about 1930, but Dr. Mead's office was there on the right-hand side. So if you go up that alley, his office was right there. There's a little alley right beside the house, and you go right into it. Nice car, huh? Pretty. Now, across the road from that were the gas pumps. Mr. O.M. Cross and Mrs. Cross is in that picture too. She looks really small, but it's just the perspective of the picture. You see her right down there? O.M. Cross. He had a grocery store too at the gas pumps. And here's the grocery store. We're going across the street again to the post office. And the funny thing about this is this is the old post office, and they built a new one, that's currently in use right now. But this old one is now a resident of the person who works at the post office now. It's her son's house. So it's kind of stayed in the family, the post office family. But anyway, here is the new post office. It's up the road just a little bit. And you could see up on the hill the Mendota Cemetery too. There's some infamous people up there. Here we are at the Hamilton Institute. This picture was taken in 1909, so it's very old. And Harvey and Hal Hamilton founded it. The school was actually owned by the Masonic Lodge, number 174, and the school was actually built in 1874. Same site, same place, different building. In 1916, the state took over the Hamilton Institute and tore it down and built this one-story building. Unfortunately, though, it burned down in 1943. It was replaced in 1951 with what's currently the Mendota Community Center. Here's some pictures of some of the school children in front of it before it burned. And this is the Hamilton Elementary School now the Mendota Community Center. And I want to take you just a little bit further down the road before we go. This is Pinnacle Road. Now, this is the road over the mountain to get into Russell County. This used to be a toll road where people had to pay to drive their cattle over the Clinch Mountain. And they drove their cattle, like usually from Russell County, coming into here to put them on the trains to go to, to the butchers. But they drove them all the way down through town and put them on the trains. And the cows actually rode the trains. I thought that was a really interesting story. And there was another story with this road too, is there was a postman got hired. They had to carry a gun, and he rode a mule and brought the mail into Mendota. So that was kind of interesting. That's way back when. And you know what? Dottie Dye and Katie Harris, who we talked about earlier, they had set up a room here in the Mendota Community Center. That's a history room of Mendota, and it's really something to see. And I hope you could come out and visit us and take a look at it when things are better and we don't have to wear these masks and COVID is gone. So, but this will take you all the way up to the fire tower. This road here in the picture, you go all the way up to the top, and you can walk up to the fire tower and see Russell County, Washington County, all the way over to the mountains. It's really pretty. But Mr. Malcolm the Malcolms had a grocery store up here too. Probably, I don't know, 20 years ago. That's probably about right. And I hope you enjoyed stepping back in time with me and taking a tour of Mendota. And I hope you come out and visit us again. And if you need anything from the library, just give us a holler. Thank you. Bye.